Welcome to the Music with a Message series brought to you by the Seattle World Tour as part of our Winter Food Drive and Fundraiser. I'm Taylor Hart from Respect My Region, and today I'm here with King Youngblood.
What up?
What up?
What up?
How has this whole past year been treating you guys? How has it been just mental well-being wise?
Oh man.
It's been really interesting because it's been both a challenge and kind of a learning opportunity, if anything, because we've had a lot more time to spend together and indoors and, well, not necessarily even together per se in the same room, but just even online, just having a lot more time to put towards the craft has definitely been beneficial. But then it's also been really hard. We were a band that really enjoyed playing live shows, and it was a kind of a staple to our band, and not having live shows definitely is a challenge for us, but it's been interesting to kind of find ways to circumvent those challenges and find new growth through that. And we've been writing a lot more, we've been recording a lot more, making a lot, just more music in general, producing, things like that. And it's just, it's been a great opportunity to have that kind of time to really grow in that sense.
God, do you think that it's, you're talking about like working through these struggles, do you think it's brought you guys together more so in your creative process?
I definitely think so. I think that it's a strange benefit of all of this is it's given us the time to really tighten up on a lot of different angles and on a lot of different things, and especially giving us a lot more time to get to know each other as writers and you know, really continue that fire that sparked from, you know, having a band in the first place. It's interesting that even if it's on Zoom or when we do get the chance to, you know, socially distant, you know, have a conversation and everything, and do those writing sessions, it definitely feels different. It feels like we've gotten a chance to really see each other even deeper as band members and as you know, co-writers too. I think it's a beautiful thing.
For sure, yeah. I know you guys have worked on a few things throughout this pandemic and throughout this past year. How was it like, you know, still going out there and like working on like the music video for Yakubian Antics was in the middle of CHOP and the middle of this massive protest.
Yeah.
How was it being out there and still creating and still finding a message to bring out of all of that?
Yeah, you know, for us, we shot Yakubian after we, you know, actually did This Ain't a Picnic, the educational sit-in we did over in front of the East Precinct. And we did it, and after we had gotten a chance to really kind of settle into what had happened at the protest, settle into what is going on in our city, of all the different ligaments and issues that's related to that, as well as, you know, the fight for Black liberation and indigenous sovereignty and all those things that, you know, we care so deeply about. And going back to, you know, the CHOP to shoot it after we had written the song and gotten a chance to really settle in and think everything through was powerful, but it was also scary, you know, in a lot of ways. When you are stepping up to do what you can to do the right thing, there are certain risks that are involved with that. But I also think it was incredibly powerful to see how many people, you know, stuck by and really put their money where their mouth is for how important these issues are, that we've been talking about, how important they are to them too. And having that community come out in both different ways is something that definitely brought me a lot of pride in seeing the solidarity of my community.
100%, yeah. And you guys have, you know, done a lot of community work as well.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I know you guys have your Hold Your Crown that focuses on like mental health with the youth. How have you guys worked on and focused on aspects like that throughout this past year?
Yeah, you know, it's actually interesting that you asked. We just partnered with Smash to do a campaign with them, focusing on mental health, but also, you know, general health. That's what Smash specializes in, and getting a chance to work with them and really tag teaming with another organization has been an incredibly powerful teaching tool, but also again just goes back to show like the power of different community members coming together to work for a proper cause. And you know, with everything Hold Your Crown wise, I mean, do you have thoughts?
I mean, just things like the partnerships and moving forward and getting grants and things like that. It really just shows that a lot of this work can be done in situations where you can't really get out in the field and you can't talk to people directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can still make a difference with things like these, and I think that's really important to really take into perspective, especially in times like these.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And so kind of fast forwarding now to present day and moving forward and trying to come out of this, pandemic on a positive note, you guys have just you performed a new single.
Yeah, we sure did,
just
didn't
for
we?
us
Yeah.
earlier, and I mean that hit me in the feels. It's
Thank
been
you.
over a year without live music, and I think you guys saying it's been awful for you. Awful for me as well.
Yeah.
I don't play music myself, so hearing you guys, a flashback to Seattle World Tour 2019 when
Yeah.
you guys performed at the Central. I've expressed it before that I get like this nauseating feeling listening to you guys because of the passion behind the performance.
Yeah.
You hear your guys' connection to the community through
Thank
your
you.
music, and
Thank
it's
you.
shown through what you've done the past year and now, and Too Late Too Soon just really just today I was crying.
Thank you.
I
Thank
was
you so
absolutely
much.
crying listening to that. So how did that come to fruition? How have you guys developed that over the past year, and what does it mean to you guys?
Yeah, I wrote Too Late Too Soon with my godbrother, John Korn, who is disabled. And, we really connect on a couple of different levels, but both being from two different marginalized groups. And we wrote it while, the pandemic and everything was going on. But what we were thinking about when we wrote it was, one, if we're enough, and especially being from marginalized communities, if the world is being supportive enough of us being who we are. It's this kind of constant battle of, especially in times of uncertainty, of trying to find your place in the world, trying to find your place in your community, but also figuring out who you are as a person. And then we got the chance to work with Matt Chamberlain, who played drums on the song. He's featuring on it. And, man, just that song has really come to life.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I mean, Cameron really encapsulated that well, and I think it really captures the message of, especially for an artist in the midst of a pandemic where there's and not just artists, everyone is feeling these same struggles of having a
100%,
lack of
yeah.
outputs and just being connected, and it really shines the light on the struggles that people are going through right now, and people, not even just right now, just trying to find your place in the world and trying to find where you really fit in.
100%.
And we filmed a video for that a couple weeks ago, and that was really fun.
Yeah, working with Danny Denial directed it.
Awesome
Fantastic.
director, yeah.
And he worked with us on Yakubian, and he's an incredibly powerful artist and activist as well. And we also have Robert Turbin from the Seahawks as a guest cameo in it, which
How did that even come to be?
yeah, it's a crazy story, but he just reached out, and we ended up getting a chance to kind of kick it a little bit, and it was around the same time period. He was flying into town for something anyway, and we were like, "Do you want to be in this video?" And he was like, "Hell yeah!" It was really, really cool, and Robert's a really good guy. We've been blessed with a lot of really powerful and positive people to come in and say how much that they want to appreciate our project, but two, want to support us too, and that goes a long way, especially in times like these.
That's amazing. Yeah, you guys are very active with the community and with the matters, the things that matter to you. You guys speak out about it a lot of activism throughout all of your social media. I see it all the time that you guys post about it. So what kind of thoughts do you guys have as far as helping to bring a change to the way that people view the homeless community? And how do you guys have any thoughts on how we can bring them back into society in a healthier manner and a healthier way for everybody?
I think a huge part of it is organizations such as these that really are just tackling and destroying a lot of the stigma around homeless people. And
100%.
because a lot of people have these stigmatized notions that are almost always incorrect about these people and these groups of people, that kind of draws bad attention towards them and paints them in a negative light, and it really dehumanizes them in a lot of ways. And I think organizations such as these, and simply talking about and discussing the problems that they go through, it really helps shine light and humanize these people who are our fellow citizens, who are disadvantaged and in a position where they don't have a lot of support. So I think raising awareness and then donating and just showing support through resources, vote for legislators and senators and things like that that actually care about these sort of issues. It's all these kind of structural changes that we need to make. But I think a huge part of it comes down to the stigma and just the understanding around that these are fellow people, they're citizens. They could be your family, they could be your mom, they could be your dad. Exactly. The view we have around houseless people is one of the biggest problems, I feel. Just erasing that stigma, I think, is a huge step in the right direction.
Especially in Seattle, because you know, because there's been such a long history of gentrification in the city. You know, that's been exactly coincided with pushing people from the houseless community even further into situations that, you know, are depriving them of the resources that they need. Absolutely. And so I think it's also, you know, incredibly important to look at it on a local scale too. You know, of it's always better to do what you can. Right. And do what you can, starting with, you know, things that you're in proximity with before you try to grow out really in a really big way. But showing, if we continue to show other people that having that local focus and helping who you can, that's powerful. That reaches other people to do the same thing too. So I really think at the core of all of this, it's critical to think about what do we have the resources to do and what do we have the ability to do, and then go do them in our communities.
Especially in such a time right now where, I mean, even your average person who might have been thriving pre-pandemic is now on the verge of becoming, you know, homeless and becoming houseless and not having the resources because they lost their job because they can't get a new job or anything like that. So
yeah, I just wanted to add in there too. It's like, you know, I think that's also a really big reason why we're so happy to be a part of Seattle World Tour yet again. That's work that you guys have been doing for so long, and it's crucial and important work. And being able to add our voice to it with our art and our message is something we're absolutely honored to do. So thank you guys for having us.
Thank you guys for being a part of it. Really, truly, it takes all these different community people to come together and hear all of these different sides of it. Because a lot of the times you hear the big corporate blah 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 of you know, the same thing that they regurgitate,
which is not in as proximity to, you know, the people in our community that are really on the ground doing 100%, the hard work. So it's, again, keeping that local focus is powerful. I mean, this is a perfect example of it. We're all working together towards this important goal, and if we can do it like this, I mean, I'm hoping it's activating people that are watching and listening too.
Absolutely. I'm very much so hoping that these conversations lead to a massive change within our society. The mutual aid that we've seen grown throughout this pandemic has been absolutely astounding. And I know that I want to do all that I can to give back when I'm doing, you know, so well throughout all of this. It's hard to see my community not doing so well. So it makes me feel like I'm not doing well, you know? Yeah. So I'm very appreciative and thankful for you guys bringing your voices here to talk about
You
this.
Can't see it, but we're smiling on the
You can see the cheekbones come up, you know? It's all in the eyes here. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add in? Anything else that you guys would like to shout out?
Yeah, Too Late, Too Soon is out now. Go listen to it. I really like it. I think Hamoon really likes it too.
It's pretty cool.
And the video for it is coming out really soon, directed by Danny Denial. And yeah, follow us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You know the whole deal. And we'll see you around.
Appreciate you guys.
Maybe then I'd learn to fly around or learn to miss the ground. It's just so hard to tell.